Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to look at creating a simple Hello World application using Bolt and C Sharp. So open up Unity Hub and create a new project. I'm going to call it Hello World. And you can leave it as 3D and click Create. Let's set Bolt up. So go to Window, Package Manager. You should have downloaded this from the asset store already. If you haven't, just check the description for how to do that. And I'm going to select Bolt and import. Import again. And install Bolt. Once you have Bolt installed, let's go to Project. I'm going to create a new scene. Let's go to Scenes. Create scene. First one I'll call Bolt. Open that up. I'm going to create an empty game object. And let's just call this hello. Add component. And I want a flow machine. So a flow machine is what you use for Bolt scripting. And you will see there's a source which has embed or macro. You'll be choosing macro like 90% of the time. Macros where your actual scripting logic will sit, your game logic should I say, and that is basically your C# alternative. I'm not going to say replacement because it's definitely not a replacement. And macro, I'm going to choose new, and I'm going to create a new folder and call it macros. In here, I'm going to call this Hello World. Save that, and if I double click this, you'll see this Add a Graph button. Just click on that, and I'm going to take this and dock it up here on the top. So if I double click on this, it'll expand and you'll see this variable section on the left. I'll go into variables in the next tutorial. For now, we've got start and update. Now the difference between start and update is the start is this when as soon as you press play, your start gets called and your code gets executed just once, and that's right at the start. As soon as you press play, update gets executed every single frame. So I'm just going to put my logic in the start method. I'm calling it start method, or it's start event in this case. Start method is actually when you're using C#, but in the case of Bolt you are calling it an event. So start event, I'm going to click on this little triangle, drag it out and click again, and you'll see this window pop up. Okay, in here there's a little search dialog, and you're going to search for debug. Okay, let it search, and you are looking for debug.log, just with a message, single message, not the one with context, debug.log. Okay, now what this is going to do, it's going to print out a message to the Unity console. I'll show you what the console is in a minute. In the meantime, you can click on this little dot. It's expecting a message to be passed in, and we can pass it in by simply clicking on the dot. I'm going to drag it to the left and choose string literal. You'll see another window pop up here, and there's a little box that you can type in, and I'm going to type in hello space world exclamation mark. Okay, now if I double click on this again and click on console, this is a console, and as soon as I press play, it's going to compile and print out hello world. And congrats, you've written your first Bolt script. So I'm going to stop this and just go back here again, and let's go through this quickly one more time. So we've got start event being processed. As soon as I press play, it's going to come to start and flow through. That's the arrows is indicating the flow, and it's going to flow straight to debug.log, which is getting its message from this hello world string that we have created. Okay, and now let's go and have a look at how we do this in C#. Let's start with the C# implementation. Click on assets, create new folder, and let's call this C#. I don't know if it will let me name it that. Okay, C# is fine. A better name is actually scripts. Let's rename that to scripts. Go in there and create a new C# script, and I just clicked on the wrong thing. Right click, create. Oh, create. My mouse is a bit iffy these days. C# script, and I'm going to call this hello world. And if you double click on that or hit enter, it will open up Visual Studio. Visual Studio is what we will use to edit our C# scripts. And let that open up. It should have been installed when you installed Unity. If you do not have it installed, then you can download it. Just search for it and install it. Just open up your Chrome, and on Google just search for Visual Studio, and it's an easy enough install. Okay, anyway, hello world. So you see here we have start and update. This is exactly the events we are catering for, that we catered for in Bolt. So if we go back, and I'm going to, okay, well, this thing reloads. Okay, so that's exactly, we have start and update in Bolt, and we have start and update in C#. Only difference is everything is in text. So we are now going to do a debug.log exactly as we did here. So in Bolt, it was a case of right clicking, adding a unit, searching for debug.log, and then going and clicking and dragging and entering the string value. In C#, it's a lot easier. All I need to do is come into the start method. You'll see these curly brackets indicate the start and beginning of these methods. Okay, I'll get into much more detail describing what a method is a bit later. But for now, just know that your logic will go inside these curly brackets for either start or update. Start if you just want your code to run at the beginning, so as soon as you press play. Update will be executed every single frame. And I'm going to print out debug.log and hello world. C# to differentiate our Bolt from C#. Okay, going back, I'm going to, okay, so we have hello, which is fine. It will still print out hello world. There's an area, I don't think we need to worry about that. Let's just create an empty object. Call this hello C#. Now there's a few ways to do this. I'm going to click on project. You see I've got a bunch of project tabs open. It just helps me when I'm dealing with bigger projects. So you can either add component and search for hello world over here. You'll see this little icon with the hash sign indicates a C# script, or you can click and drag it from your Project Explorer either to the right or onto the object itself. I will show you by clicking and dragging onto this object in your hierarchy view, and you'll see it added it over here. Okay, so as soon as I click play, it will print out on console hello world C#. And this hello world, the initial one was the Bolt example that we did earlier. Okay, so as you can see, in this case, C# was a lot easier and straightforward than doing it in Bolt, in my opinion. So as we move along, we will see if it actually gets easier using Bolt, or if C# is still easier. My gut feel tells me that C# is still going to be easier, but let's see. But that's the reason I'm doing a side-by-side comparison, to let you guys decide for yourselves at the end of the day, and of course to give my own opinion as someone who's been writing code for over 30 years now. So in the next lesson, I will go through creating variables. Until then, enjoy, and please try these examples out, both of them, Bolt and C# by yourself. It's the only way to learn.